Welcome to chapter 14 of our book, which is Math, Charts, and Calculations. I am Ernesto Bimaggio III, and today we'll explore how precise math skills like decimals, fractions, and percentages, and more are essentials for automotive. Again, accurate measurements and calculations are crucial in automotive work. Whether you're adjusting a valve clearance, determining fuel economy, or reading a transmission chart, math is the heart of it all. So, moving to our learning objectives, at the end of this chapter, or the chapter 14, students will be able to define and explain decimals, fraction, and percentages. Value the importance of accurate measurements and calculations in ensuring proper automotive service and diagnosis, and apply the information from charts and graphs. So moving on the first part, decimals. Decimals are used to represent fractions of a unit by using a dot called a decimal point to indicate that the number is a decimal. Using decimals instead of just fractions lets you represent this precise measurement. So again, why decimals? Because service technicians frequently measures parts and clearances down to the very small tolerances. And again, using decimals instead of fractions let you see or let you represent precise measurements. So again, kung makita natin dito, decimal point place indicates whether the value or ano yung value niya. Yun yung dinidetermine ng decimal point. So, ito yung sinasabi ko ano yung dinidetermine niya. So, meron tayo sa decimal points, meron tayong tenths, hundreds, and thousands. So, for the tenths or 0.1, this accurate to one decimal place. So, ano, so malalaman pala natin kung nasa tenths lang siya if ano, yung after ng decimal point is isang value lang yung nandun. Isang decimal place lang yung nandun. Ibig sabihin, nasa tenths siya. And magiging hundreds naman siya if after ng one decimal point is nag-move siya ng two decimal places or nag-move siya ng dalawang places. And malalaman naman natin if thousands if three decimal places yung minove niya. So, adding and subtracting decimals po. When adding or subtracting decimals, the decimal point has to be aligned. This ensures that the numbers are placed into correct positions of tenth, hundreds, and thousands. So, for example natin, no, i-add natin yung 0.147 sa 0.02. So, again, i-align lang po natin yung decimal place ng dalawa. And i-align lang din po natin yung kung asan yung tenths, yung hundreds, and yung thousands. So, kung in-add natin yung 0.147 sa 0.02, ang magiging answer natin is 0.167. So, bali, ano lang po, i-align mo lang po sila, i-align mo lang po yung dalawang decimal points, and i-add natin siya kung paano tayo nag-add or yung basic addition. Ayun po. Again, take note pala dito, when adding or subtracting decimal, it is crucial to align the decimal points. Kasi mamamali po yan kung hindi po naka-align yung decimal points. Hindi po siya precise. Basically, mali po yung addition natin. So, example po, nasa book natin or a real automotive world example is valve clearance, adding and subtracting. So, scenario natin is, if the valve clearance specification daw po is in 0.012 inches and the clearance is actually 0.016 inches and the shim that is in the place between the camshaft lobe and the valve bucket is 0.080 inches thick. What size or thickness of shim needs to be installed to achieve the correct valve clearance? So, binigyan po tayo ng ano no, ng mga given numbers. Yung valve clearance specification daw po is 0.012. And yung actual na clearance na nandun is 0.016. So, minus po natin siya. 0.016 again, i-align po natin yung decimal places and subtract naturally. And subtract po natin yung 0.016 sa 0.012. So, ang magiging sagot po natin is 0.004 inches. So, meron 'di ba binigyan po tayo ng given na existing shim thickness which is 0.080 inches. And maglalagay po tayo ng ano, ng additional thickness needed na 0.04 inches. So, 'pag in-add po natin yung dalawa, 0.080 inches sa 0.004 inches, ang magiging bago po nating thickness of the new shim is 0.084 inches. So, ayun na parang ang basically ang sinabi dito, the extra 0.004 is what you need to adjust. May yun nga po, yung additional thickness, yun po yung kailangan nating i-add. Next naman po is scientific notations. Scientific notation is written as a number multiplied by the number of zeros to the right or left of the decimal point. So, basically, ang scientific notations daw po is parang mas malinis tignan. Parang ginagawa natin 'to para mas malinis tignan yung ating ano, sa ating numbers. Instead na maglalagay tayo ng sobrang daming zero, ganito na lang po yung gagawin natin. Hindi na po tayo maglalagay ng parang shortcutin na lang po natin, hindi na po natin lalagyan ng sobrang daming zero. Paano naman po kung 'di ba, kunwari 5 yung zero 'di ba, parang masyadong marami siya, parang hindi siya maganda tignan. So, sa scientific notation parang mas pinapaganda niya po tignan. So, for example po, sa large numbers, move the decimal point to the left until you have one digit to the left of the decimal and count how many places you move it. So, example natin is meron tayong 68,000. Asan po ba yung ano, ah, yung decimal place ng 68,000? 'Di ba po nasa dulong-dulo ng zero, sa pangatlong zero, nandun po yung decimal place niya. So, ano, sabi dito, move the decimal point to the left until you have one digit to the left of the decimal and count how many. So, i-mo-move daw natin siya sa left until meron na lang tayong isang digit ano sa left ng ating numbers. So, kung titingnan natin sa 68,000, mo-move natin siya sa unang zero, sa pangalawang zero, sa pangatlong zero, at sa 8. At meron na lang tayong natitirang isang decimal place which is ay isang digit which is the 6. So, in scientific notation, magiging 6.8 times how many places natin siya, how many decimal places minove natin yung yung decimal point. So, sa scientific notation, magiging 6.8 times 10.4. 10 to the raised to the fourth power. So, and next naman is small numbers. Move the decimal point to the right using the negative exponent. So, basically, ganun din po. Kunyari, example natin dito is 0.00068. So, move naman daw tayo pa right. So, move tayo sa unang ganun din po hanggang magkaroon lang ng isang decimal ay isang digit number. Punta tayo sa una, 'di ba 0 point, ano yung decimal point natin, tapos punta tayo sa unang unang zero, pangalawang zero, pangatlong zero, and hanggang makapunta tayo sa 6. So, ang magiging nun po nun, 6.8 times 10 raised to negative 4 power. Kasi nga, ano po siya, small number po siya. Again, yun nga po, parang yung scientific notation, imbis na 'di ba napapansin niyo po, imbis na nagsusulat tayo ng maraming zero, ginagawa na lang natin, mas ikli na lang natin yung numbers. Punta naman tayo sa percentage. Percentage is the relationship of a value or number out of 100. So, basically, percentages helps you quickly see ratios or how much of something you have relative to 100. So, ang formula po ng percentage is part of a whole divided by part of the whole divided by the whole. times 100 para makuha po natin yung percentage. Example, 'di ba ang tanong po is 70 is what percent of 120? Tatanong po nila 'no kung ano daw po yung percent ng 70 sa kabuuang 120. So, substitute lang po natin yung value sa ating formula. Yung tatanong po natin, tinatanong po dun yung part which is the 70 divided by the whole which is 120 is equals to 'pag dinivide po natin yung 70 divided by 120 makukuha po tayo ng value na 0.58 per 58. Tapos ita-times daw po natin siya sa 100 para makuha natin yung 58%. Gano'n lang po yung formula niya. Wag niyo po kalimutan, ang formula ng percentage is part of the whole divided by the whole times 100. Ayun, para makuha po natin yung percentage. Next naman po is fraction. A fraction shows a part of a whole. Fractions like 1/2, 1/4, or 5/8 shows how many parts of a whole you have. For example, if you cut a pizza into 8 equal slices and you eat 3 and then meaning you've eaten 3 out of 3 o- over 8 of the pizza. So why are they used in automotive? So, yung fraction daw po. Commonly, hose diameters or certain parts might be listed as 5/8 inch or 1/4 inch. And, ayun. So, parang makikita na kasi lagi natin to yung fraction sa, yun, ginagamit yung sa mga hose ng, ng engines or, engines, sorry, ng kotse, ganun. And technicians often use tape measures or rules to see if a part fits. So, dito naman pupunta tayo sa how to convert fractions into decimals. Kasi nga 'di ba, parang kanina sabi natin, yung decimals parang mas precise yung accurate, hindi naman accurate kasi parehas naman accurate. Mas precise tignan yung ating measurement. Yun. Yun nga, sometimes you need to convert a fraction like 3/8 to a decimal. O yung ang decimal ng 3/8 is 0.87 to match a certain measurement tools or specs. Kasi may mga measuring tools tayo na hindi naman nakalagay dun 'di ba, 0.88 or mga specs ng ating ah, mga specs ng ating kotse hindi naman siya naka-fractions, gano'n. So, how to convert daw po, yung 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 sa top number or yung numerator ng fraction, sa case dito sa 3/8, ang nasa taas kasi niyan is yung 3. Yun yung numerator natin. Divide natin siya sa bottom number or yung denominator, yung 8. Kunyari dito, example, sa 3/8 natin na fraction, 3 divided by 8 is equals to 0.375. 5/8, ang gagawin natin is 5 the numerator divided by 8, which is ang kakalabasan nun is 0.625. So, ganun lang po mag-convert ng fraction into decimals. Multiplying and dividing. Multiplying in automotive, often makikita natin siya sa gear ratios to find the final overall ratio. Doon lang po usually, in context of automotive, doon po natin na-apply yung multiplying. And dividing in automotive, commonly used when calculating total electrical resistance in parallel circuits. So, sa mathematical formulas, what is a formula? A formula is like a recipe. It uses letters or symbols to represent values. Example like speed, distance, and gear ratio. And then you plug in real numbers to get your answer. So, example po dito is galing sa book is meron daw po tayong formula dito ng RPM or revolutions per minute. Paano daw po ba natin siya makikita? Paano daw po natin siya makukuha? So, sa ang formula ng RPM is equals to mph or miles per hour times gear ratio times 336. Yan po yung constant lang po yan sa lahat po ng RPM na formula. Lagi pong constant yung 336. Mas parang pinadali po yan eh. Parang para sa masyado po kasing complex yung formula ng RPM. So, naglagay po sila ng constant na 336. Tas over or di-divide natin siya sa tire diameter or sa sa diameter ng ating gulong in inches. So, ayun makikita po natin 'no, each part, the MPH, gear ratio, tire diameter goes into the formula. Ayun dito, 336 is just a constant that helps convert these units into RPM, yan. So, 'pag binigyan tayo ng real example, kunyari meron tayong 70 miles per hour, ta's yung gear ratio natin is 2.41 to 1, and yung tire diameter natin is 26 inches. So, para gumana daw yung formula, ilalagay lang daw po natin yung mga real numbers natin para makuha natin yung RPM. So, again, sa formula, miles per hour, 70, lagay natin yung 70, times gear ratio. Ano ba yung gear ratio natin? 2.41. Tapos, ah, ang constant at 336, tas i-di-divide natin siya sa tire diameter, which is 26. Makakakuha nating sagot is 5,668/26. Again, convert natin siya sa whole number, divide lang natin, makukuha po tayo ng 2,180 RPM or 2,180 revolutions per minute. So, yun nga, parang dito sa RPM, makikita natin na how fast the engine is spinning at 70 miles per hour. So, ayun, no, parang doon natin nagagamit yung formula, yung mathematical formulas in automotive setting. Next naman po is fuel economy calculator. Why calculate fuel economy? To see how efficiently a vehicle uses fuel. This can help with diagnosing engine issues or just tracking how much money you're spending on gas. So, yung mini-measure po yung metric fuel, depende po. Sa United States, ang pag-convert po nila, paano po nila i-measure ito is, fuel economy is expressed as miles per gallon. Parang dito, usually, highlight nila dito kung ilan yung, tinakbong milya or miles per gallon. And sa outside naman po sa US, often measured in liters per 100 kilometers. So, ilan yung tinakbo ilan yung liters na kinailangan para makatakbo ka ng 100 na kilometers. So, steps po para sa fuel economy calculator, ito yung binigay na, real life scenario na steps. Fill up your tank completely until the nozzle clicks off. Drive to unknown distance, for example, 220 miles, and refill and record how many gallons it took. Say, 10 gallons. Divide the miles by gallons to get miles per gallons. Yun nga, parang, di ba meron tayong 10 gallons and tumakbo ka ng 220 miles, and yun, i-divide lang po natin yung given, 220 miles divided by 10 gallons para makuha po natin yung miles per gallons. Ibig sabihin, ang kotse po niya is ang fuel economy ng kotse na 'to is 22 miles per gallons. So, sa gear ratio naman po, when one gear turns another, the speed that the two gears in relation to each other is the gear ratio. So, a gear ratio tells you how many times one gear, the drive gear, must spin to make the other gear, the driven gear spin once. Parang i-picture out niyo ito yung isa kong gear. Ito makikita niyo diyan, yung drive gear. Yung drive gear kasi siya mismo yung naka-connect sa power source. Tapos meron kang driven gear. 'Pag umikot yung drive gear, masasama yung driven gear. So, dito parang yung speed nilang dalawa, yun yung gear ratio. So, how to calculate gear ratio? Dito sa figure natin, nakalagay dito, paano ma-calculate yung gear ratio? Gear ratio is equals to the teeth on the driven gear divided by the teeth on the drive gear. So dito, example, dito daw sa driven gear natin meron tayong 24 teeth. Eh sa drive gear natin, meron tayong 8 teeth. Bale, sabi daw po dito ba, i-divide lang natin yung teeth ng driven gear sa teeth ng drive gear. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. So the ratio is 3 to 1 ratio. So ibig sabihin ng 3 to 1 ratio, iikot ng 'pag nakaikot ng 3 beses 'tong drive gear natin, saka makaka-complete ng one ikot yung driven gear natin. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng gear ratio. Again, ulitin ko, ano ibig sabihin ng 3-to-1 ratio natin sa gear ratio natin dito? Ibig sabihin nun, 'pag kailangan umikot ng 3 beses ng drive gear para makaikot ng 1 beses yung driven gear. Ta's meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng type of gear ratio. Direct drive, both gears are the same size, so they spin at the same speed. Meron namang gear reduction. The driven is bigger, so it spins slower. Example, 3-to-1 means the drive gear spins 3 times for each 1 spin of the driven gear. So, yung binigay po natin palang example 'no, yung kinalculate natin, gear reduction siya. Overdrive naman po is the driven gear is smaller, so it spins faster. Example, 0.8 means the drive gear only spins 0.8 times for every full spin of the driven gear. So, punta muna tayo sa sa graphs, charts, and diagrams. Unang-una po yung graphs. A graph is a visual tool that plots two variables against each other, usually on an x-axis horizontal and y-axis vertical. It helps you see the trends or relationship in the data at glance. So, example po natin, no, sa book, again, sa book lang po tayo kumukuha ng example. Sa figure 14.4, a graph showing horsepower, which is yung blue line, and torque, orange line, as engine speed RPM increases. So, yung x-axis po natin, which is the horizontal, which is yung pahiga, RPM po siya in hundred. So, kung makikita ba natin, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So, yung 50 po actually means 50 kasi nga in hundreds po siya. So, 50 times 100, 5,000. So, yung y-axis po natin or yung vertical, yung pataas is uh, say or horsepower sa left. Yung sa left po ng natin, ng example po natin sa y-axis sa left, ang given po dun is yung horsepower. And yung sa right naman po is yung torque. So, how to read how to read it? Paano pa ba natin binabasa yung graphs? At any given RPM, you can see, yan, sa lahat ng given dyan, sa baba, sa lahat ng given RPM, sa 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, you can look up and see what horsepower or torque is. Makikita natin kung ano yung horsepower niya kada RPM, o ano yung torque niya kada RPM. The two lines often cross. Kung makikita natin, nagko-cross sila madalas sa around sa 50 RPM, and adjust ka lang ng konti, around 5,252 RPM. Tas dahil dito makikita natin how torque and HP are related mathematically. So, ano, parang, ah, bakit nga ba ito nagma-matter? Kasi you can quickly identify at which RPM you get and max torque. And etong chart na 'to, it helps technicians or enthusiasts understands engine performance, like where the engine feels the strongest. So ayun po. And again, paano siya basahin? At una titignan mo yung x-axis, yung horizontal, and yung y-axis. Next naman po is yung charts. A chart organizes data into rows and columns. It's an easy lookup table so you can see multiple pieces of information all at once. So again, may example po tayo. What you see is a chart listing gear ranges. Ano yung mga gear ranges na nakikita natin dyan? Yung park, neutral, overdrive, drive, manual, second, and manual first, and reverse. Makikita po natin yung yung nakalagay po yun sa left natin. And various clutches across the top, or titingnan po natin yung top, nakalist po dun yung various clutches. Meron tayong gear, second to band, reverse input clutch, overrun clutch, forward sprag CL assembly, 3 to 4 clutch, roller clutch, and low reverse clutch. So, paano ba natin ito basahin? Mag-pick lang tayo ng gear range sa left. Kunyari, ang pipiliin natin, overdrive. Sa overdrive, sa left, ayun yung pinili natin na ano, na basahin. Then, titingnan natin yung mga given scan natin siya sa row na yan. Tapos titingnan natin, ano, titingnan natin kung applied ba siya. Ulit. How to read it? Again, pick tayo sa left or sa gear range. Then scan across the row to see which clutch or band is applied, holding or not engaged. For overdrive, you might see the second gear applied. Sa second gear niya, applied daw. Tapos sa forward clutch, applied din. So, why it matters po ba? Transmission diagnosis. If a certain gear isn't working, this chart exactly tells you which internal part or the clutch or band might be at fault. Ayun nga, parang quick reference rather than flipping through the text, you can see the table everything at once. So dahil dito sa ano na to sa sa charts na to, makikita natin kung ano yung mali, ano yung pwede yung apektado sa nasira. Kasi nga alam natin dito yung kung saan siya applied, ganun. Next naman po is diagrams. A diagram is a drawing that shows how parts fit together or how a system works. An exploded view up, pulls the parts apart in a vertical stack so you can see their arrangement in order. So dito, what sa example pa natin, an exploded view of a thermostat assembly in an engine cooling system. Diyan makikita natin yung parts dyan, yung housing, yung sa top, yung yellow, and the thermostat itself or yung copper, and the engine block, yung mga green. So, how to read it? So, notice the order of the parts of titingnan natin yung order ng parts. Sa taas, nandun yung housing niya, and then yung thermostat, and then yung engine block. Each layer is separated so you can see exactly where it belongs. Bakit po ba nagmamatter yun? If you're changing a thermostat, etong diagram na to shows you how to put it back together correctly. And avoiding mistakes so you can see where the gasket or seal fits, preventing leaks or damages. So conclusion, to wrap it up, our key points: precision in math, understanding decimals, fraction and percentages, and scientific notation is essential for accurate measurements. Application of formulas, whether calculating RPM, fuel economy, or gear ratios, formulas provide a reliable method to solve real-world problems. Data visualization. Graphs, charts, and diagrams are not just illustrations. They are tools that help us diagnose issues and guide repairs efficiently. These skills are not only about numbers, they directly impact safety and effectiveness in automotive service. So, ito po yung aking references. Basically, yung both discussion ko po, makikita lang po siya sa book na Automotive Technology, Principles, Diagnosis, and Service, 4th editions by James D. Halderman. Ayan po. Maraming salamat. Ako po ulit si Ernesto Di Maggio. Thank you po.